Hey, welcome back, Rankers. Thought I'd try something a little bit different. So I got a bit tired of just having the same photo up on, looking at the same view out my window. So I thought I'd take you through some stuff. Probably can't see any of these lines on the Google Analytics graph. But anyway, this one's a really big pointing one. The rest are down here, pretty much along here. And this one's up here because this is last Thursday. So what happened last Thursday? Well, I published a blog post about how the auDA tried to take away our domain name. So basically what happened back on the 20th of February is a complaint was issued against stuartmedia.com.au. You can go and read the blog post. I won't bore you with the details. But then what proceeded was that the Australian Domain Name Administrator said they were going to delete stuartmedia.com.au, and that happened on the 14th of March. They said they were going to delete it, and then on the 28th, we got submitted to the registrants review panel, or were accepted, which was basically your last right of appeal. And at that point, they said, no, auDA, you are wrong. And basically the CEO had said they were going to delete it, and he agreed with the findings, and the registrants review panel says, no, that's incorrect. And interestingly, this is the first time since they've had these rules for the auDA that someone has ever had to go and apply to the registrants review panel. So I'll let you be the judge if you think it was victimisation or stupidity. Maybe it was both, I don't know. But you can't have it both ways. Either you don't know the policy or it's a personal attack. Anyway, so I published a document or a blog post about that, shared it on LinkedIn, got picked up by Smart company, and just on that day where we had that 400% increase, what was what we would normally have on a Thursday, we found that all the brand related phrases had doubled. We found that all the organic traffic had doubled. So this is traffic coming from Google. So what was happening was either people were reading the blog post or reading the story on Smart Company, and then they were going and Googling the brand or my name to find out more about it. We also started to rank for things we should. Now, this has happened previously, and I've seen a few more over the weekend since we've had this spike in activity. So back on March 14, when we got the story on the ABC News, after that we had a lot of stuff that just jumped up. And that, I think, was because we were having a spike in our brand search, and because we had a spike in our brand search, Google knew that people were actually looking for us and looking for our content. So that's when we started to jump for things like marketing speaker, digital marketing speaker, which we weren't even focused on. That went to number 1. SEO audit's gone right up, which I think was on page 2. So we've had a lot of these phrases just jump above without actually doing anything specifically on those phrases or on those pages, not doing any sort of SEO. We've basically just been talking about it in the media. And a lot of them sort of jumped from nowhere, which we didn't expect. Like ranking for things we shouldn't, like Search Console. Or for a period there, we were ranking for Google Australia. That's gone now. But that was interesting. And so without doing anything except focusing on our business and getting a message out that we wanted to get out there, it's helped us rank for other things. So, I don't know, you probably still can't see that big spike. It's probably all washed out. I'll try to zoom into it with the screen. But here are the details. So, of that big spike, and here's what was interesting, is that 40%, this is all users we're looking at here. So we're looking at all users, desktop and mobile. And what we can see here is that we've got 40% of those users last week were social, and 23% were direct, and organic search. What's that? Looks like I can't read it. I've got my glasses on. Hang on. Here they are. This one is 14%, and this is 19%. So this is referral traffic, right? So this is traffic essentially mainly from LinkedIn, and well, a lot of this is LinkedIn. Sorry, this is LinkedIn. This is a little multiple Facebook like M dot, L dot, all that sort of stuff with Facebook that you get. And then you can see here we've got a little bit of paid search happening as well. But look at the difference between social on mobile, social on desktop. You're talking an extra 17% of the traffic on mobile was from social, and a whole lot less referral traffic. Possibly that's just an anomaly in analytics because it's looking at M dot here, right? But then when we have a look at this graph over here, this is the before. So this is the Thursday before, right? So you can see we've had massive jumps in the social. And look at organic search. Organic search was the major winner last week, and then this week you look at it and it's dwindled significantly because, well, it's increased in actual numbers, but as a percentage of the overall pie, it's certainly decreased, and we've had a lot more traffic coming from these areas. So essentially, that's what we're focused on now. So that to get that traffic over that period of time, to get that coverage, and then we're talking about the traffic doubling on our site, organic traffic doubling on the site since we started the campaign, so back on the 14th of February. So this is the presentation I was giving 10 days ago. I said 30 news articles. It's actually 50 news articles now. So it's getting hard to keep up with them, and there'll be more press coming out this week. That included national TV news, 30k video views, mentions in federal parliament, and of course the doubling of organic traffic. So for me, the message of this story, apart from the auDA stuff itself, from a marketing perspective and what you're looking at, is that make sure you've got everything working on your site properly, all the user experience things that you know you need to have, speed, all that sort of stuff. Keep publishing content that's relevant to your buyer personas, but you have to get it out there, right? You have to get that content out there. Now, you might only do, people say, well, how often do I have to publish? Well, it depends on you and your audience, your buyer personas, your resources, all those sorts of things. You could just do it with one good ad, like a dollar shave, or you might be able to do a one good ad like a purple mattresses or something like that. It may not need to be sustained, week after week after week, I've got to do a blog post. I do it because I've got a big mouth and I want to talk about this stuff. And so I'm publishing constantly. So it's up to you how you want to do it. But just remember, this is marketing. A lot of people talk about content marketing. It's marketing. Where are your buyers? Where are they hanging out? Identify them, find out where they're hanging out online, and work out strategies to get your message in front of them and get them talking about you and get them searching about you, because that's the most important thing. And remember, when it comes to voice search, Alexa, Google Home, all of these other things, you want people requesting your brand that they want to buy, not some generic category that your brand happens to be a part of, if that makes sense. Hopefully that's helpful. We'll see you next week. Thanks very much, everyone, for your support. You've been awesome.